Y'all, have you seen the Walmart Birkin? Yes, you heard me right. This thing has gone viral on TikTok, apparently. I just heard about it yesterday. I'm curious to see how many of you have heard about it too. Let me know in the comments if you have before we go any further, or if you haven't. This Walmart Birkin is an affordable alternative to the Hermes Birkin. Some people are calling it Walmez. Others are calling it the Walmez Workin because it's for the working class people. And I think that's just so funny and clever. But this whole thing has me feeling some things, and I watched a few videos about it. I read a bunch of people's comments about it. The comments are nuts, guys. I'm gonna show you this bag today, tell you what I think about it. I'm going to read some of the comments that I found to you. We'll talk about those because they're very interesting and they go into a lot of the things we deal with as handbag people. And I will also show you some other more affordable alternatives to the Hermes Birkin if the Walmart version is not your thing. So stay tuned. And welcome, I am Autumn Beckman and I'm here to help you live your most luxurious life within your budget. I post new videos on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so please make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of those and so you don't miss my daily community posts where I share the best sales of the day and fabulous handbags that I find. Also, don't miss my website, autumnbeckman.com. That's where you can find handbags and small goods that I have for sale, as well as my planner pages. I have a huge selection of pages, including my new calendar pages, which I offer in a variety of formats, weeks, months, all kinds of things, quarters, vertical, horizontal, anything you need, I've got it. And I also have planner pages to help you organize your handbag collection or other collections. This, for example, is the item tracker page where you can write down all the details about each of your handbags or small goods. And I have so much more than that, so be sure to check it out. My website, autumnbeckman.com, is linked in the description box below. So this Walmez Workin, the Walmart Birkin, has gone viral on TikTok recently. And this is all it is. It's just an inexpensive Birkin look-alike. It's not a fake because it doesn't say Hermes anywhere on it, but it is a copy of the design of the Birkin. There was a particular brand that people, I guess, were talking about first, and that brand has sold out. I don't know if they'll be restocked. But there is another one, this one that I found. They have lots of colors, so super affordable for a lot of people. I will say the lock has the H on it, but again, nowhere does it say Hermes. And I think these also come with a shoulder strap, which is a bonus for a lot of people because the actual Hermes Birkin generally does not come with that. There are a few that do. Now, I heard about this, I think I heard about it in a Facebook group. Someone mentioned the Walmart Birkin and it was on TikTok, and I had to go to TikTok and search for the Walmart Birkin and figure out what they were talking about. So I had it in my head that maybe it was something that looked similar to a Birkin, and it was, since it was so popular, that it must be this quality bag with some really cool design that's similar. I didn't realize until I got over to TikTok, no, it's just a look-alike. And for me, I was confused as to why this was such a big deal, but I think I have figured it out. The reason I was confused is because people are going crazy over this thing and saying, oh, I can finally get a bag that looks like a Birkin, but it's really affordable. In this case, it's under $100. And it's as if they've never seen one of these bags before, whereas I have seen them for many years, and I bet a lot of you have too. But I think because this was on the Walmart website, that a lot of people are seeing them for the very first time. And I had to remind myself that I do live, and many of you probably do too, in a handbag bubble. We are people who handbags and care about them and are interested enough to go on social media and watch videos or join Facebook groups or whatever to learn more about handbags. So most of us are probably pretty familiar with the Hermes Birkin and all the drama behind that, and a lot of us have probably already seen these bags that look just like the Birkin but are only $100 or $200 instead of $10,000. So for us, I think seeing one of these on the Walmart website would not be very shocking. But apparently to the masses, most of whom don't care about handbags like we do, we are the unusual ones here. This seems to be a new thing, a phenomenon, and something that people are very, very excited about. And a lot of what I've just said is very evident in the comments on these videos. It is clear that most of the people commenting are not handbag people. They're not very familiar with the Birkin, or if they even know what it is, because they don't know much about it at all. And I found these comments super interesting. They're great conversation starters and the things that we've talked about before, certainly on this channel. And there are some very interesting conversations in some of the TikTok videos if you want to watch that. There are people really excited about this bag, and as you would expect, there are also people on the other side that hate it. And you see the same happening in the comments. So I took screenshots of a bunch of comments, and I'm just going to go through them and in no particular order read some and tell you what I think about it. Here's one from someone named Bestie Junie, and they say, and this was across a variety of videos by the way, they say this is going to take all the value from Hermes and I'm here for it. So first of all, no it won't, because alternatives like this that look just like the Birkin have been around for years. They do not affect the value of the Birkin itself or of Hermes. Hermes is still doing fabulously. If I remember correctly from things I've read over the past few months, many of the luxury houses have lost some money in this world economy, but Hermes has not. They have continued to grow and make profit. So these lookalikes are not hurting them one bit. And this person saying that they're here for it, like they're all for Hermes losing value. I think that just ties into this phenomenon that's been happening lately. Not a new thing, but something that I keep seeing more and more of, which is a combination of things, anti-capitalism and also anti-wealthy people. And I know I made a video on the anti-wealthy people stuff a few months ago, maybe last year, I don't remember. So I won't go into all that right now, but it's something that I have really seen a lot of on social media lately. Alicia says, I can't help but think Jane Birkin would have liked this bag more. I saw lots of comments that mentioned Jane Birkin, who of course was the inspiration for the Birkin bag. She helped design it. And people were saying this because she had her Birkins and she would just throw them around. They'd get beat up. She'd hang things off of them. She wasn't pretentious about having the Birkin bag or about it being named after her, which is something you could certainly be pretentious about. And here's the everyman's Birkin, right? Something just about anybody could afford. So they're saying that Jane may have preferred the Walmart Birkin to the actual Birkin because of the accessibility feature of it, that price point. There were several comments similar to this. This is by someone named It's Courtney's Life, and they say the Birkin and the Walmart bag were made in the same factory. No, they weren't. There are other comments too that say, oh, they're the same quality, they're made in the same factory, so they are exactly the same bag. They're just being sold at different price points. Some people I saw were saying the Hermes bag is made for the same price as the Walmart bag. No, it's not. That's not true. And this is an example of what I'm talking about when I say that a lot of the comments are clearly from people who are not familiar with the Hermes Birkin. And I will say that for a lot of the comments like this, there tended to be somebody else that would come in and correct them and say, look, the Birkin is much more expensive, just the cost of making it, for a variety of reasons. Our understanding, this is what people say, I don't know 100% if this is true, but our understanding is that each Birkin is made from start to finish by one artisan, that it takes time to make it. They're not like on a factory floor where they're just churning them out like they would with the Walmart Birkin working. The materials are much, much nicer for the Hermes Birkin. There's much more care put into them. Still, of course, the cost to make it and the cost they sell it for are vastly different. However, they are definitely not on the same level as the Walmart Birkin. So let's be clear about that up front, especially if you're somebody who's coming to my channel for the first time and because of this topic, please know the Birkin is very, very different in terms of quality from the Walmart Birkin. And then we have people like Luz W8 and other stuff who said, I'd prefer people to know it was the $80 Birkin rather than think for a moment I'd waste $10,000 on a bag. So there were a lot of these comments that were judgmental against people who not only can afford a $10,000+ bag, but people who choose to spend that much money on a bag. And a lot of people who were saying, even if I had that much money, I wouldn't spend it on a Birkin. I wouldn't spend that much on any handbag, and putting people down for doing so and making themselves seem superior for making a different choice. This is something we've talked about a lot on my channel too. All this handbag judgment, spending a lot of money on handbags, whether it's a Birkin or a Louis Vuitton or whatever. And again, I won't go into a whole conversation about this, but if you're one of those people, I would encourage you, before you share those thoughts with anyone else, to consider things that you have spent money on that are not necessities, that are maybe more expensive than they really should be, or have a higher markup compared to the actual cost to make the item. Because just about everybody spends money on frivolous things, whether it's handbags or something else, and whether it costs $20 or $20,000. At that point, you're just working at different income brackets or price points, but the frivolity can still be the same. I love this comment from Broken Phoenix. They said, "I'm here for the dupe era. We all broke, but we still deserve to look cute too." And I think that's about where I stand on these bags. A lot of people hate these kinds of bags because they copy the design. Even if they don't have the brand name, they copy the design of someone else. And I understand that argument, and to a point I can agree with it. However, I also saw some people in the comments and in the videos talking about, well, these brands know what they're doing in designing something and then charging astronomical prices that most people can't afford. And if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna make that choice to exclude me, well, I'm gonna make a choice to get your design for a much cheaper cost. And I see all sides of that. And on this channel, we're all about making luxury accessible. And although this could be questionable for copyright purposes, I'm still somebody who's okay with it. I still think if you are somebody who could afford the Birkin, but you don't want to spend that much money on it, go for the alternatives. If you could afford it, but you want to try that style out first, do it. If you will never in your life be able to afford that bag, but you still really love it for whatever your reasons are, and you want to get one at a really affordable price, go for it. Makdas Glow says, after we learned Dior spends $57 to make a $2,800 bag, I regret all my designer bags. That could be a video unto itself, but that's another great point, very much tying into what I talked about. It's like, if the company's going to choose to stick it to the customer in that way, well, we can flip the table and stick it to the company. Get a similar bag, get the look for less, right? And then they don't end up getting a penny of your money, but you still get the bag you want or something close enough to it that you're happy with. Brie Elizabeth says, a lot of people can't afford the bag and are excited that they found one they can afford. There's nothing wrong with that. I agree. And this comment I saw on one particular video where this guy, his presentation of his argument was, I'd say, kind of controversial, and surely he knew he was going to upset people, but he also had a point. He was saying that, and there were a lot of comments that verified this, that a lot of people seeing the Walmart Birkin would say things like, it looks just like the Hermes Birkin, you wouldn't know the difference. And his argument was, yeah, that's because you're poor. Yikes. What he was saying is that the fashion, whether it's clothes, handbags, whatever, and a lot of other things, appliances, all kinds of things, furniture, that are designed and presented at a price point that most people can afford, and he was calling most people poor people. He was saying that that is the quality, which is a much lower quality product for those low prices. He was saying that that quality is what poor people are used to, and that's all they know, because we don't go into these luxury stores or furniture stores or whatever stores sell really high quality, very expensive things. So we don't go in and see that quality. We don't experience it, so we don't know the difference. And I think presentation could have been better, but he makes an excellent point there. A lot of people are going to see the Walmart Birkin and think it's the same as the Hermes Birkin, or a counterfeit Louis Vuitton bag, a Speedy for example, and not know the difference between that, even a bad fake, and a real Louis Vuitton Speedy. And I know that was certainly the case for me. I grew up poor, and I had some fake bags before I ever got real ones, and I didn't know the difference until I was able to go into a store and see the difference, and then it was really obvious. But anyway, he had this whole conversation, and this was one of the comments on his video, and there were a lot of comments like this. This is Kathy Diamond. She says, it doesn't matter, just wear what you like. Geez, it's not that deep. This comment bothers me because of the it's not that deep part. Yes, it is that deep, and it actually is even deeper. And the people who say things like, it's not that deep or it's not that complicated, yes it is. And the only reason that it isn't for you is because you're not using your brain. You want to simplify it, oversimplify it, make things black and white, when in fact there is a lot more to it. In this case, the fashion industry, it's a huge thing. There is so much involved. It's very complicated and it has a long history. Not only the evolution of fashion, but the design, how it impacts culture, how designers are influenced by each other, quality materials, labor, so many things. It absolutely is that deep and deeper. When you stop to actually think about things, even when they're things that you don't care about, and a lot of people do not care about fashion, when you stop to think about things, learn about things, it will expand your worldview. And I would encourage everyone to do that. Be curious. Don't dismiss something. Learn more about it, especially when it's things that other people care about that you don't really, or things that are different from you, or things you disagree with. Learn about it. This comment I just thought was funny. This person's name is Living in Love 3, and they said, so after one rich person recognizes another rich person's wealth by seeing each other's Birkins, then what? Does a mushroom fall from the sky and you level up? I just thought that was funny. This one is interesting too, MewBM2. It really comes full circle now that everyone is wearing it, the Birkin. The rich people will see it as tacky and make another bag famous. That was something that the guy with the controversial video talked about a little bit too. He was saying that poor people, which is just the average person to him apparently, and wealthy people live in different worlds. That he was saying wealthy people don't pay attention to the poor people, don't know what they're into because they have their own things. So that the wealthy people in this case, he was saying, aren't even aware of the Walmart Birkin and won't be and won't care about it. And even if they did, they can tell the difference between the two, because when you know about the Birkin, it really is pretty obvious. As I was saying earlier, this Walmart Birkin is not going to affect Hermes or the real Birkin. Jeremy has an excellent point here. He said, it's fun, YOLO, you only live once. People need to quit pocket watching, which I think just means like counting other people's money, and just enjoy their time on this spinning ball. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Because ultimately, none of this matters. Even though I just said it's all very deep, at the same time, it also does not matter in the scheme of time and space. So do what you want that makes you happy, as long as you're not hurting somebody else. That is something that I never saw come up here, is the labor practices to make a bag that cheap. And usually, at least in the luxury YouTube world that I have been in, that comes up right away when we start talking about these affordable alternatives that look just like the real thing. But not this time. I think Walmart shoppers don't care about that, based on these comments. Fi My Buy says, I'm not even sure why there's a discourse, why this has gone viral. People have been duping designer items for decades. Amen. This one. The Insider says, nah, it's fun because it really does cheapen the original. My cousin works at Birkin, that's what I'm laughing about, and they are freaking out. Apparently his cousin is an employee at Birkin and they are freaking out over the Walmart Birkin. Y'all, I don't even have to explain that one, right? Oh, this is a good point too. This person is called A Searcher. They said, and I saw this comment come up a lot, I thought Hermes was snobby and need appointments just to go into the store. Why would they let Walmart, of all places, sell their prized goods? So it's not an Hermes bag, even though people are calling it the Birkin. Walmart is not selling Hermes bags, although they apparently do have some Preloved ones. But a lot of people were very confused thinking that Walmart is selling these alternatives to the Birkin. They are not. The Walmart website is very similar to the Amazon website. Walmart is not who is selling everything on that site. If you go to the Hermes website, everything sold there is sold by Hermes. On the Walmart website or on Amazon, you have third-party sellers come in and they sell what they want on that platform. Walmart gets a cut of that, but Walmart is not the seller. Does that make sense? So that's how this is happening. And the last comment, which sums up a lot of things we talk about on my channel, Sarah40 says, some people don't have the luxury to buy a Birkin. So true, most people don't. So if you want a Walmart Birkin, go for it. Now, I want to tell you about a few other alternatives to the Birkin besides the Walmart alternative. There's another brand that has been doing this for a while. There are several that have, but this one I would recommend. I have purchased bags from them before. They have a wide range of alternatives to other designer bags too. In fact, this is one, and I would recommend them. I have been very impressed with the quality of the pieces that I have purchased from these guys. These will be much better quality than the Walmart ones based on what I've seen in the TikTok videos. These are a little more expensive. They're around $200 for the Birkin lookalike as opposed to $65 for the Walmart, but you're paying for the extra quality here. Plus you have a huge variety. There are different sizes, there are solid colors, there are some bags that have 2 or 3 colors with color blocking, lots more choices. Kate Spade also has a Birkin inspired-ish bag. It's more expensive, it's $378. I'm going in order, by the way, from least to most expensive in what I'm sharing with you here. There's this burgundy one, or there's this color blocked neutral one available. And by the way, all of this will be linked in the description box below to make it very easy for you to find them. Personally, here's what I would recommend. I have one of these. The Teddy Blake GG bag. Now, I have worked with Teddy Blake for a few years. They sent this bag to me a year ago. They have nothing to do with this video today. I'm not being sponsored or paid or anything to talk about this. I do highly recommend this bag if you're interested in a Birkin dupe. I carry this quite a bit. I carried it just the other day, in fact. It's great quality. It's all leather. They're made in Italy, designed in New York, and very similar to the Birkin, but without being a copy of it. And Teddy Blake is always having sales, and I have a discount code for them listed in the description box. They also have a shorter little East-West bag that they released, I think, earlier this year that I've been thinking about getting. It's that same bag, but just shorter and longer. It's very cute. And I think those are running around $400 right now, that Teddy Blake bag. Coach has this bag, in this size it's about $700. The Empire bag, this is in the 40 centimeter. Again, it has similarities to the Birkin without being a Birkin. And there's a spin of it. Beautiful bag. I love this. Fantastic quality. Natural full grain leather. That's another thing about the quality difference, is knowing about leather and different grades of leather. This is the highest quality leather that I've told you about so far. And then jumping way up from $700 to $1,600 brand new, the Mulberry Bayswater. Again, lots of similarities to the Birkin, but you can get these pre-loved for under $1,000. So I'll have both options linked below. And there's also, I would love to get one of these bags. Maybe I'll get one pre-loved someday. I think they're so pretty. The new Ferragamo Hug bag, these haven't been out all that long. They've always reminded me of the Birkin because of those two kind of sangle-y things on the front. These start at about $2,200, but again, you can get them pre-loved for a bit of a discount. They're still going to be pretty expensive though. And also at Macy's, I found this bag that looks a lot like a Kelly bag. It's on sale for only $120 right now. Several colors and different finishes. And those are the alternatives that I have to share for you. So of course, I'm very curious to hear what you think of the Walmart Birkin, the, what do they call it? The Hermes Birkin. I think that's so clever. And what you think about the different comments and what you might want to add to the conversation. I think people have good points on both sides. Ultimately, I think you should just do whatever makes you happy and maybe not judge other people for their choices. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.